Unlisted videos. Insider drops. The only way in is through my private SMS list.
Christopher Nolan just turned Homer's Odyssey into a diversity checklist nightmare. Lupita Nyong'o has been handed the role of the fair-tressed Helen of Troy, the blonde Greek beauty whose face launched 1,000 ships. At the same time, Elliot Page is reportedly stepping into Achilles' armor once worn by Brad Pitt. The text describes radiant Mediterranean heroes, and Hollywood's rewriting it anyway. This is no creative flourish. This is a direct attack on Western storytelling itself. You see, millions of families still teach their kids the real Odyssey at the dinner table and in classrooms. When studios replace those clear descriptions with activist casting, they erase the specific people and culture that created the myth. Viewers lose faith that any classic is safe. And parents watch their children absorb the message that ancient Greek beauty and heroism must be modernized to fit today's politics. The same crowd pushing these swaps also controls award shows and studio greenlights. That means more classics will face the same treatment unless audiences push back right now. And while Hollywood chases awards by rewriting history, American companies are quietly securing the resources that actually protect our future. This breaking news: Saga Metals, trading as SAGMF in the U.S. and SAGA in Canada, is back in the spotlight much sooner than expected. In less than 6 months, the company has moved at a pace rarely seen in the critical mineral space. Less than 48 hours ago, Saga announced a 100% drill success rate across all 57 holes at its radar project, and they did it ahead of schedule. That alone would be major news, but it's only part of the story. Saga also added $10 million to its treasury through a private placement that strengthens its position in the race for domestic supply chains. Watch for the in-depth interview on this very topic on Sunday, and check the link in the description for the full story. Real strength comes from controlling our own resources, not rewriting ancient myths. You see, Elon Musk, he's just poured some gasoline on the fire by amplifying every meme about these casting choices. The internet is now flooded with side-by-side posters comparing Brad Pitt's Achilles to the new version. That reaction reveals something bigger than just a movie. For example, this video going viral: Dr. Clown PhD. The movie Troy, but instead of Brad Pitt, it's Elliot Page. So there you have a nice AI-generated interpretation of Elliot Page starring as Achilles. Setting the stage with a brutal swap, Brittany Hughes now explains exactly why Lupita Nyong'o as Helen of Troy is just absurd casting.
Lupita Nyong'o has reportedly been cast as Helen of Troy in Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, which is completely absurd. And of course, the left is immediately screaming racism at anybody who has a problem with this. So let me just say for the record, I don't care. This is a ridiculous casting choice. Not because Lupita Nyong'o is not beautiful or talented, she is, but yes, because she's black. And she's been cast to play a Greek character who has been described in classical poetry as having fair skin and flowing locks. In the original Odyssey, Helen of Troy is Mediterranean. So if you're turning this epic into a movie, you need to cast someone who looks Mediterranean. This, not Mediterranean, and that's okay, but it would be like casting a little white Irish boy to play Black Panther, which of course Hollywood would never do because only stories originating in a predominantly white culture are ever considered lacking and in need of a racial makeover. And don't even get me started about Ellen, Elliot, whatever Page being cast as Achilles. You're telling me you want to portray one of the most iconic male warriors in all of classic literature, and you went with a little transvestite woman? That's not a casting choice. That's a message. And yeah, I have a problem with diversity for diversity's sake being crammed down our throats regardless of whether or not it makes sense. Because this is about so much more than just who plays some part in some movie that we can all choose whether or not to go see. It's about an ideology that says we must promote diversity at all costs and at the expense of everything else. That ideology has been shoved into our schools, into our corporate structure, into our government, our hiring practices, our justice system. We free criminals based on their skin color. We hire people based on their sexual orientation. It's no longer about merit or whether or not you fit the bill. It's all about your ethnicity or whether you're gay enough. And I'm so sick of the left shoving this agenda down our gullets come hell or high water and then feigning shock and confusion when we have something to say about it. It's stupid, and I'm going to call it stupid.
I agree. It's stupid. So she's calling out the race-blind agenda. Elon Musk jumping in, naming the real motive. Variety says Elon Musk is bashing Christopher Nolan for the Odyssey casting, alleging the director casting Lupita Nyong'o as Helen of Troy was because he wants the awards. In additional X post, Musk retweeted posts that mocked Elliot Page's masculinity and claimed that Nolan was stomping all over Homer's grave because of his casting choices. So Elon Musk exposing the awards grab. Next we have this from Daniel Cavarsano. I will not go and see Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. Not even from a critical perspective. I'm a cinephile and I know Nolan is an excellent director, but he deserves to be sanctioned. Anyone who obeys the new woke norms no longer deserves our money. This must become a habit, a trend. These deeply harmful films that degrade our image internationally must fail at the box office. Let's launch this operation. Who will not go to the cinema to see this spit in the face of our civilization? Let millions of us boycott it. Share if you agree. I'm not asking you to create buzz for myself, but because I want this film to fail. And that's exactly why we are reporting on it. So he's urging Americans to stay home, but Time is rushing out to cover hailing the same film as a must-see blockbuster. So the mainstream media already doing damage control for Christopher Nolan with this cover. His Odyssey. Director Christopher Nolan returns with epic ambitions. So Time's hyping the movie anyway, and enter 60 Minutes with their own defense of his decisions.
I feel a real responsibility to try and get as much on screen for the audience as possible.
Action! Christopher Nolan is one of the great directors of our time. Oppenheimer, Dunkirk, Interstellar, and next, The Odyssey.
I mean, it was the hardest movie I've ever done, by far. I mean, not even close.
So Nolan claiming he just wants to deliver for the audience, but TMZ reports Elon Musk is amplifying online backlash. Whining, they say. Whining about Christopher Nolan casting Lupita Nyong'o. So TMZ is tracking Musk's role in the storm. Robbie Starbuck warns this will become Nolan's biggest bomb before it even opens. If Elliot Page is playing Achilles, this will be the biggest bomb of Christopher Nolan's career. It'll be memed to death before it ever comes out. You can't go from Brad Pitt as Achilles to a confused woman and expect an audience to take it seriously. So Robbie Starbuck predicting a meme disaster. And enter the memes. Here they are, my friends. You gotta love them. Look at me. I'm Helen of Troy now. Probably one of my favorite memes. And of course, Russia Today also piling on with this side-by-side of Helen of Troy in 2004, played by Diane Kruger, and 2026 by Lupita Nyong'o. And they also pointed out this as well. 5'1" trans Elliot Page, rumored to play the ghost of Achilles in Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. Fans are already drawing Brad Pitt comparisons. He played Achilles in Troy. Yeah. So, does that look like Achilles to you? Unbelievable. Ugh. And we have this. To be eligible to win Best Picture at the Oscars, at least one non-white, non-straight lead or significant role, at least 30% minor roles, non-white, non-straight people, at least 2 department heads by non-white, non-straight people, and that's why Nolan did it. And then you have this classic, Christopher Nolan directing the Odyssey. Put a chick in it and make her lame and gay. And Dr. Clown decided to create a parallel universe. Odyssey is a masterpiece because they cast Ellen Page as the Helen of Troy. That is Ellen Page prior to transitioning to Elliot Page. Another meme for you. Tonight, identify as Spartan. Oh, the memes are going to kill this movie. Oh, and Dr. Clown also did a parody of Terminator, but it's Elliot Page instead of Arnold. Enjoy. Y'all remember this scene? Terminator 2. The view from the Terminator entering the bar. I don't know how they do this, but it is amazing. I need to learn how they do this, for sure. And there's the guy that Arnold chooses, but in this case.
Give me your boots, your clothes, your motorcycle, and a box of Xanax. Transphobic jerk!
Oh, I love it. Oh, and then we have this one too. This is another great one. John Wick, except Elliot Page. John Weak. Oh, Elliot Page is so weak it hurts to watch. A heartbreaking portrayal of pain and frailty. A tragic and painful ride. Elon Musk making a point. He actually did the meme. And what was he quote tweeting? This one. Put a chick in it and make her lame and gay. The classic from the South Park episode where they trashed Disney. So the real driver is Academy rules that require non-white, non-straight leads plus staff for Oscar eligibility. Nolan knows the game. He's following the formula to stay eligible for the biggest prize. This is not art. It is compliance. Audiences are done playing along, and the box office will prove it when the film drops. So the backlash against this woke rewrite is only getting louder because people still believe classic stories belong to the civilizations that created them. So share this video with every friend who grew up on the real Troy and Odyssey. And drop a yes in the comments if you refuse to buy a ticket to another history rewrite. And join the thousands of patriots who've already texted the words raw feed to the secret number on the screen, 844-840-4963, to get the direct message the algorithm tries to block. Make sure you check out the Next News merch shelf below this video for fresh America 250 gear that shows you stand with America for storytelling. We're not letting Hollywood erase our heritage.
The system controls information. Information control is power. I want you to see this. Truth only survives together. They don't want this shared. Share this now.